Hi, everyone. Karen Roby, Tiernan Ray here for ZDNet. Talking about a report today, and Tiernan, I'm going to read the title of it too to make sure we get this right. Ethics of AI, the benefits and risks of artificial intelligence. And we talk about AI, of course, all the time here on ZDNet. And this is a really broad look, a big report covering a lot of bases here, Tiernan.
We've looked at so many aspects of this from every different angle, Karen. And although there are benefits over the long term, perhaps, in dealing with things like climate change, from the insights that AI can bring, I think we're very focused right now on risks. And the risks you can generally describe as being a result of artificial intelligence programs, especially deep learning, that are getting larger and larger in scale and that are being deployed in the world at much greater scale. So the theme of our 2021 review of the ethics of AI, and particularly the risks, is the increasing scale, the increasing size, which amplifies many risks we've been hearing about for years now.
Yeah, and there's so many facets, of course, to this report, and we talk about the risks, so many to cover here. But one of the traditional pieces that people focus on, and we do a lot, is bias. And we can't issue a report about AI without really covering bias and what it means and how much more the concern is growing.
Right on, Karen. And this has been a straightforward issue to some extent in the literature for years about, do HR systems that automatically select job candidates perhaps disproportionately favor one group in the population? Are they biased against what are termed protected groups? And so it was a matter of, statistically, are you properly reflecting society? Are you reflecting even the population in society? But now we have a new risk, Karen. You may have heard of things like deep fakes. These are videos, pictures that never happened, maybe with celebrities, and maybe with ordinary individuals. And this is a product of machine learning programs, AI systems that can generate, in some cases, convincing text, images, videos, all kinds of digital artifacts. They're now flooding the world now that we have these very large language neural network models from companies like OpenAI. And the danger is that if you had biases that showed up in one little program used in an HR department, if you start to output all kinds of digital content, you may be amplifying as you recreate the biases that were once simple at a much greater scale.
Yeah, and that can be scary, Tiernan, obviously, to talk about the consequences and, some of these deep fakes. I mean, it can be disastrous for people on what is perceived to be real, and it's not at all. One of the things that you cover, I think, in this report that's really interesting and for us as the humans to put this into perspective, we talk a lot about, of course, with AI, with driverless cars and what that future will look like for us. But a very real world example with this particular truck line that will now be coming out. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Sure. The National Highway Transportation Safety Administration in the US has been running lots of tests. Insurance companies have been running tests for years now saying, how do driverless cars do? But again, scale is increasing. And now we're seeing something that is way beyond what we've seen with, say, Tesla self-driving or Volvo self-driving, all these individual passenger car efforts. We're seeing now trucking, fleet trucking, semi-trucks coming into the world of self-driving. There's a company, Karen, called TuSimple, TuSimple, which is going public on NASDAQ this week. This company hasn't really sold much yet. They're sort of in a pre-revenue phase, but they've taken 6,000 orders for these custom-built semi-trucks. So this is a thing that's going to haul a tractor trailer across, for example, I-10, which is a highway system, goes across 8 states of the United States. The idea is, if you have a cab that doesn't have a person in it, instead of being limited to the 11 hours of legal limit with a human driver, you can run this thing pretty much around the clock. Mm-hmm. So you might be driving down the highway soon and you might do a double take as you see a semi truck in the lane next to you with a huge flatbed of some kind of something, crates, boxes, bins, barrels. And as you get to the cab, there's no one behind.
Nobody there.
Yeah. And it's at that point that you really want to know, does the AI really scale? Does it know how to handle this kind of rig?
Yeah, hoping so, because you talk about disastrous consequences there too, it's head scratching, really to think about the possibilities, Tiernan, with AI.
Right. Yeah. And you're going to have to decide, do you floor it and try and pull ahead and pass? Or do you just hang back, and let the AI win?
Right, right. Well, trucks scare me as it is, they're
Yeah.
so big, taking up so much of the space of the road anyway. So that's to get by them. At least that's what I think. Well, Tiernan, again, this executive guide on AI can be found on ZDNet. Thanks so much for putting it together for us. We hope all of you will check it out there. Thanks for watching.